snow here.
We don't get much snow here.
Oh, really?
Now, as long as you're on this main road, you're at sea level. So as long as you're at sea level, it doesn't really get that cold. It only goes about 35 to 75 degrees. So it doesn't really freeze here as long as you're on this main road. Now, if you go up in the mountains and stuff, then you get lots of snow. But down here, you're right on the ocean, so you don't get much snow.
Oh.
Now,
So,
all of these right here, these are all the salmon processing plants. All these buildings over here. So you got to imagine inside of those buildings, there's probably 200 or 300 people inside those buildings, and they're processing salmon. They stand in an assembly line. So when you're next in line, your boat comes up, and what they do is they put a tube down in the boat, and they suck all those fish out there, and it goes down an assembly line. That way the first person cuts the head off, second person cuts the fins. They process that salmon all the way down a line until it's a fresh fillet, and then that is sent out all over the world.
so the work
this is just their lunchrooms right here.
Wow.
So they started processing back in June, and they'll process salmon until probably about mid-October. And they run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They do not ever shut down. So June till October.
So winter
24
they're
hours a day.
closed?
I'm sorry?
During winter they're
No,
closed?
just from June until October
Oh,
is when
okay.
they work. But a lot of those people work enough in there, they make enough money, they take the whole rest of the year off.
Wow.
Yeah, because you can work a lot of overtime in there. As much overtime as you want to work. Most people work 16 and 18-hour days.
Yeah.
So they'll make enough money in 6 months and then take the whole rest of the year off.
Yeah, that's
You can make a lot of money there. Because you got to imagine, if you're paid like $25, $30 an hour regular pay, and then you work Saturday, that's time and a half. And you work Sunday, that's double time.
wow.
So you could be making, $75, $80 an hour
Right.
for 16 hours on Sunday. So you can make a lot of money in that place.
What about tax? Income tax? Yeah.
We don't pay tax here.
Really?
We pay federal tax,
Federal tax,
but that's
no
it.
income tax.
No income tax.
Wow,
We don't pay state
man.
tax. We don't pay property tax. We don't pay sales tax when you buy
Ooh.
stuff. No, none of that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We don't need it. Alaska has a lot of money in the state itself from all of its resources. So if you take a resource out of Alaska, let's say like tourism or logging or mining, anything like that, that you take money out of the state, you must put a certain amount of money back into the state to pay to help Alaskans. So we don't need tax money for schools and roads and all that because that's all paid for by our infrastructure.
Wow.
So if you make, oil is millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, they have to take a certain percentage of those millions of dollars and pay for our schools and our roads and all that stuff. So we tax those things. So we don't need to tax our citizens because we tax the people that are taking money out of our state. Why tax our people?
That's true.
So we don't do that.
So during winter there's no crews who come
No.
here?
No.
Okay.
So from here all the way out, this is a native reservations for the Kitchekan Indians. So this land that we're just driving through, these are the Kitchekans. Now they actually were our major Indian tribe in Southeast Alaska. They went all the way up to Juneau and then all the way down into Washington State.
Yeah.
So you got to be a Kitchekan or you have to be married to a Kitchekan to live on any of this land that we're driving through. This is just a highway, so we're allowed to drive through the edge of their reservation, but this is their ancestral ground. They've
Buy
actually
a land here.
you can't unless you're a native.
Unless you're married.
You have to be a Kitchekan Indian, not
Kitchekan,
all
the
just
native.
Kitchekans, not Simpsons, not Haida Indians.
The
Only
natives.
Kitchekans can live on this land.
Oh.
And if you look up here on the left, you're going to see where their clan house is, and their totem poles, and all that right up here. See it all up there?
Wow.
Yeah, that's the sign.
That's their schoolhouse right there, where they take their kids and go to school. So you have to be a Kitchekan or be married to a Kitchekan to live on this land. Now it basically goes from the ocean all the way back against that mountainside, about 5 miles back. This is how big their reservation is. So we can drive through this because this is a regular national highway. But once you get off of this, that's their ground and that's their ground over there.
Oh,
So they've been here a
You
long
can feel
time.
gas here too.
What's that?
You can feel gas here.
Oh yeah. Now they've been here a long time. They've actually found a gravestone here from 1724 that they've been here on this ground. So they've been here a long time. Now we're off it right now. It ended right back there. But when we drive back through, we might have some chance to drive through that when we come back.
So there's
Right
a lot
now, what's that?
of bears here?
I forget
That's
what
where
is-
we're going right now.
What native
First-
is that the speaker in the cruise yesterday from Tingta? What's that?
I don't know.
That
Lingit. Yeah, that's the one he's mentioned.
Was it a Kitchekan?
Clink it.
Click it.
Yeah.
Click it. Yeah.
Oh, nice house.
up closer to Juneau and up into the glaciers and stuff, there's Lincolns. They're a big nation. There's a lot of them.
He's from
Just on that land right there, they say there's about 400 or 500 of them.
He's from Glacier
Just right
Bay.
there.
And Alaska used to be owned by the Russians.
Yes. Yep. We bought it in 1959.
Yeah.
So how about you, sir? You're not a native here.
I was born here, so I'm a native from here.
Oh,
Yes.
native.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you're.
But I'm white,
Yeah.
so I'm not a Native American, but I'm an Alaska native. Because I was born here in Kitchekan in 1969 is when I was born. Alaska became a state in 1959, and then I was born here in 1969.
And your parents are from.
Well, my parents were here, but they weren't born here. My parents came here when they were in high school. Their parents came here to work, like in the mill. My mom's dad came here to work in the pulp mill, and then my dad's his dad came here to work at the Coast Guard base. He was in the Coast Guard right here.
Okay.
My grandpa was one of the first commanders here in Alaska at the Coast Guard base right there in town. So Alaska became a state in 1959, and he was one of the first commanders here in 1964.
Wow.
So that's how, and then my grandpa brought my dad up here, and they were both in high school. And my mom was up here in high school, and then that's how she had me. They were.
And they came from another state.
Yes. Yeah, I think my other grandparent, my one from the Coast Guard, was from Missouri, and then my mom's parents were from like Washington State.
My
They came
cousin
up
work
Came up
here
here to work and then stayed.
in the fishing company. My cousin work here. I don't know where. In a fishing company, he said. Maybe
You
in
asked
some
which
of the
one?
Alaska. No, he's not answering me.
What's that?
My cousin work here in Alaska in a fishing company, but I don't know which one or which city.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to work here. He's from Vegas. He comes here to work and then go back to Vegas
Oh, yeah.
after.
A lot of people
So,
do.
Yeah.
They'll come up here and work for 5 or 6 months,
Yeah, I
and then
think
they'll,
that's
you
what
make
he
enough
did.
money, you can take the rest of
Then
the year off.
here.
we go back to Vegas after.
Yep. You make a lot of money here. There's a lot of things you can do to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Not just working in them fish processing plants. You can work on fishing boats, crabbing boats. You can work in the tourism industry. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Construction.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of jobs here. We don't have enough people for all of our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We have a work shortage here. And you get paid pretty good money here.
I like the, living beside the ocean.
Oh, yes.
There's so many. You won't get hungry.
No. There's plenty of stuff out there in that water.
Plenty of fish. You can just
Yeah, there's fish out there.
Catch your
There's
Alaska.
300-pound
Oh, yeah,
halibut out there. You can
salmon.
find clams and mussels and
Oysters
halibut,
also?
oysters, all that.
Wow.
Yep, right there. Right there. Yep. Everywhere there's a salmon stream, once those salmon go up and spawn and lay their eggs, they all die. And then they flow out in there. Well, that feeds everything. So that
Yeah.
feeds all the crabs and great big shrimp like that.
Yeah.
300-pound halibut out there. I mean, just monsters. Yes, right there.
So you have to have a license to do fishing. here.
Yes. Yeah. It's just $25.
Yeah, and then
That's
you can
for a full year.
you can get the fish
You get
and
all
then
the
you can bring
crabs
it
and
home.
shrimp and fish and all that you want to get for $25.
Wow.
Yep, that's all you need. You can get 6 salmon every day.
Whoa.
Salmon, you can catch 6, and that's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And that's every person in your family that has a fishing license. So
yeah.
if you catch 6 fish, most salmon are about 10 to 20 pounds.
Wow.
So you catch 6 fish, you get about 50 pounds of salmon you can get every day.
Wow.
So you eat salmon every
You
day.
can eat it every day. Yes. Day after day after day.
Well, maybe I can live here. I love salmon.
Do you? Yeah?
Yeah, I love salmon.
You'd like it here. There's plenty of salmon, and you can catch them right off the rocks. You don't have to go far.
I like
You
the
can-
halibut
You
better.
can, I like halibut. But you can park your car right here and walk right down there and throw your cast out. You can catch
Really?
5 salmon right here. Yeah, I did it
Wow.
yesterday. Absolutely. There is thousands.